नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्चण्वन्नोदिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ श्रीशङ्कराचार्य स्वामिने नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
नमस्ते महोदय। लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी।
यस भगिनी। उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तः देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः।
गुड।
ललिता भगिनी।
य एव वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते।
गुड।
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर भगिनी। शीला शिंदे भगिनी।
ध्यानेन आत्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे।
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी। अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी।
हाँ भगिनी। अन्ये तेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चातितरन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणाः।
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी।
यावत् सज्जायते किंचित् सत्वं स्थावरजङ्गमं क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञसंयोगात् तद्विद्धि भरतर्षभ।
यावत् संजायते, not सज्जायते।
यावत्
संजायते।
संजायते, sorry sir.
Not सज्जायते.
Okay. Shall I tell once more?
Okay, yeah.
यावत् संजायते किंचित् सत्वं स्थावरजङ्गमं क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञसंयोगात् तद्विद्धि भरतर्षभ।
Good.
विजयलक्ष्मी भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
समं सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विनश्यत्स्व विनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति।
We read up to this shloka yesterday. We'll continue with new shloka for today.
श्री लक्ष्मी भगिनी।
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र
समं पश्यन्ति सर्वत्र समं पश्यन्ति सर्वत्र
समवस्थितमीश्वरम्
समवस्थितमीश्वरम् समवस्थितमीश्वरम्
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम्
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम् समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम्।
Good. Next.
वीणा फानीश्री भगिनी।
न
नमस्ते महोदय।
हीनस्यात्मनात्मानं
न हीनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं न हीनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं
ततो याति परां गतिम्
ततो याति परां गतिम् ततो याति परां गतिम्
न हीनस्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्
न हीनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम् न हीनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्.
Good. Next.
कृष्णपावनि भगिनी.
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम्
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम् समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम्.
Good. Next.
साई लक्ष्मी भगिनी.
न हीनस्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्.
नमस्ते महोदय। न हीनस्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम् न हीनस्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्.
Good. Next.
काश्मीरा भगिनी.
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम् न हीनस्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्.
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम् न हीनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्.
Next.
शरत् चवन् महोदय.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
समपश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम् न हीनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परागतिम्. परागतिम्.
Good. Next.
मृणालिनी गोपालन् भगिनी.
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम् न हीनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्.
Good. So yesterday we had seen this shloka. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyastu avinashyantam yah pashyati sapashyati. He is talking about a person. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram yah pashyati sapashyati. The person who is able to see the same parameshwaram in sarveshu bhuteshu, in all the living beings, he is the person who is able to understand what is Prakriti and what is Purusha. What is Purusha? Purusha is supposed to be one that cannot be destroyed, that is eternal. Prakriti is destroyable. So vinashyastu avinashyantam. Vinashyastu means the one that is destroyable. Avinashyantam is the one that cannot be destroyed. So though he may be seeing a person walking on the road, he will be able to understand that this person is a mixture of Prakriti and Purusha, and the one I am seeing as a gross body is Prakriti, and there is a Purusha also within him, and that Purusha and the Purusha that is there in me and the Atma and the Brahman are all same. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. So that is the kind of jnanam a person who is able to have a viveka between Prakriti and Purusha will be able to get. And this is the same third shloka that we had seen, no? Kshetra kshetrajna yojnanam. What is it? Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. He said in the third shloka itself of the chapter, sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetraksham chapi mam. He said, I am the one who is the kshetrajnan in all the bodies. The same thing, it is put in a different way. And the person who is able to understand this and see what is the vinashyastu and what is avinashyam, if he is able to see the differentiate between what is destroyable and what will continue as eternal, he is the person who is able to see and have a viveka between kshetram and kshetrajnan, purusham and prakriti. So this is the first thing that he is going to get. By doing this, understanding the jnana and having the understanding of kshetra jnana, the first understanding that he is going to have is samyak darshanam. When he looks at things, he will be able to understand it properly, right way of looking at things. He is not going to be carried away by looking at a kind of a gross body and say that this is the person. He will be able to understand it is a mixture of Purusha and Prakriti. When he looks at a hand, he will also know that hand has got a mixture of light as well as the body. Any body is a light with that body. Though light and the body cannot be separated, he knows that unless otherwise light is there, which is, it is not possible to have the body visible, so object visible. So that kind of jnana chakshuhu, the kind of cognitive capability is what is called jnanam. So they'll be able to, it is not possible to differentiate light and say this is light and this is object. No, but they'll be able to have the kind of basic cognitive capability that this is the mixture of light and the object. Okay. So now going forward, samam pashyanhi sarvatra samam vastita vishwaram. Samam vastita vishwaram means the same Ishvara, the same Paramatma, the same Brahman, the same Atma, which is stitam in sarvatra, in everything. And he is looking at it as same. Same thing is, he was able to have a samadarshanam. The previous sloka only we said samyak darshanam, samadarshanam, we saw it. Those kinds of people, samam pashyanhi sarvatra samavastita vishwaram, those kinds of people, na hinasti atmana atmanam, they will not be killing themselves. Atmana atmanam, atmana, by themselves, atmanam, their own self, na hinasti, they will not kill. It does not mean that they will not commit suicide. It doesn't mean like that. We will have to have very clear understanding of what is the meaning that Bhagavad is trying to drive in this. Okay, what he is telling is that once a person is able to have a viveka, that Purusha and Prakriti are different, he will know very, very clearly that the body is dying not because of itself. The body is dying because of the prarabdha karma coming to an end. He will not say that the body is dying because he had a heart attack. He will not say the body is dying because he was diabetic. He had cancer. His doctors did not give a proper treatment. This doctor was bad. The diagnosis was nothing. It is a prarabdha that falls and then the body is going to fall. So he will be able to have a very, very clear understanding on that. So who is responsible for prarabdha? It is going to be the individual's prarabdha. He is the person who is having his own reasons for his body to fall. It is not that there is going to be some other agency which is going to have make the cause of the body to fall. Okay. Then the person who has understood this very, very clearly, that I am the Atma and I am not the body, then when the body falls, is there anything that this particular person is going to have a feeling? He will say, no, that body is falling because of its own prarabdha. It is just falling. That's it. In no way there is going to be a problem for the Atma. So, whereas the other person, what happens is that he is, because of the prarabdha, the person who has not understood Purusha and Prakriti Viveka, he is getting himself destroyed. Right? He is destroying himself because of prarabdha, one. Secondly, he is also destroying his own opportunity to realize Atma in this particular body. All of us have to be very, very clear. It is not possible to realize realize Atma in any other form. You cannot take a body of animal and then try to realize Bhagavan. Not possible. You need to have a Atma, Buddhi as well as mind are required. The kind of discriminative capability is required, which Bhagavan has given only to human beings, as per our Shastras. A plant will not be able to become a jnani. Animal cannot become a jnani. You have got animals are there for millions of years. Animals have the same behavior. But look at the jnanis, they have been able to continuously evolve. Look at Adi Shankaracharya, look at other great Mahatmas, they are all able to evolve. That evolution is possible only when in this particular body. Supposing the person has been given, we are endowed with a body, mind complex. If we do not use this particular time that we are there in this body before the body falls, then what happens? We are the one responsible for the body's fall. When the body falls, still we are not able to realize ourselves. Whereas the person who is able to have this viveka between Purusha and Prakriti, he never starts losing the opportunity of realizing himself, which means that he never does any kind of things which will make him to feel that he has wasted his life, he has spoiled his life, he has got this instrument but he did not use it. That is a way of killing himself. You understand? Because he has not used it properly, which means that he has killed. Okay. The second thing is that if the person is going to be in a prarabdha only and then prarabdha falls, then what happens? He'll again take another body and he'll again go through the same kinds of problem, and again he will fall. He'll fall because of his own prarabdha. So what happens is that the person who is aviveki, the person who has not understood, he will be born and he will die because of his own self. Because he is the reason for it. He creates a prarabdha karma. He creates all the kinds of sanchita karmas, agami karmas. So because of the sanchita karma, he is getting born. Again, he will be creating. He is born with say 5,000 karmas. But at the end of the time, he is able to have 15,000 karmas. He has got 5,000 karmas exhausted of prarabdha. He has earned 15,000 karmas. Those karmas again he has got exhaust. He'll have to again get born. So he will be again born and died, born and die. Which means that he is going to be a person who is killing himself every time because of his own prarabdha. Whereas the person who is able to understand that I am the Atma, the true nature, he is not going to die. Na hinasti atmana atmanam, because he is able to realize himself. Then what happens? Tataha, thereby yati parangatim, he will be able to achieve the highest supreme position of understanding that aham brahmasmi. So what else? What is happening is that these kinds of people who do not understand this viveka, they are just wasting and killing themselves. Every time they are born, and then because of their own prarabdha, they kill themselves. Again, they are born, they do all the karmas. Those karmas will not leave them. They have to experience the karmas. They will be born. Again, prarabdha will be over. They'll die. Die means prarabdha will kill them. So they keep on having the cycle of janma and maranam, punarabi jananam, punarabi maranam. Whereas the person who has understood this vivekam, na hinasti, he is not going to kill himself because he is going to realize the Atma which is eternal. So samam pashyanti sarvatra samavastita vishwaram na hinasti atmana atmanam tataha yati parangatim. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivshankar Bhagini.
Prakrutyaiva cha karmani.
Prakrutyaiva cha karmani. Prakrutyaiva cha karmani.
Kriyamanani sarvashah.
Kriyamanani sarvashah. Kriyamanani sarvashah.
Prakrutyaiva cha karmani. Kriyamanani sarvashah.
Prakrutyaiva cha karmani. Kriyamanani sarvashah. Prakrutyaiva cha karmani. Kriyamanani sarvashah.
Good. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Yah pashyati tatatmanam.
Yah pashyati tatatmanam. Yah pashyati tatatmanam.
Akartaram sapashyati.
Akartaram sapashyati. Akartaram sapashyati.
Yah pashyati tatatmanam. Akartaram sapashyati.
Yah pashyati tatatmanam. Akartaram sapashyati. Yah pashyati tatatmanam. अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः.
नमस्ते महोदय.
नमस्ते.
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः.
Good. Next.
Vijayalakshmi Bhagini.
यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति. यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
Good. Next.
Sheela Shinde Bhagini.
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः. यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
प्रकृतैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः. यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Full shloka once.
Yes, sir. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः. यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः. यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
Good. Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
Sir, excuse me. Sir,
Tell me.
Lalita Bhagini.
sir, they have given Kartaram they have given. In the second line, ya pashyati tathatmanam kartaram sa pashyati.
No. When you look at the pustaka, that ma will not be half ma, it will be full ma. Tadatmana ma. Makartaram means im plus akartaram is ma. Im plus a becomes ma. So when you say ma and you say im, automatically a should be the next one. When you don't split it, tadatmana makartaram. Makartaram they would have given in the book. Not is half ma here. It is akartaram only.
Can I recite, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः. यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
Good. One more person.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः. यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति.
Good. So here we are now talking about the karma, the phalam of understanding the Prakriti Purusha Viveka. The first one, I'll just go back. This particular one, this was able to give us an understanding of or a mixture of Prakriti and Purusha. Is Samyak. So a person who is able to have that understanding, he'll be able to look at things in a proper way. Samyak Darshanam. Then this particular shloka, what is that? He says that Amrutatvam. So what happens is that the person who is able to understand this Viveka, he is able to get Amrutatvam. So Amrutatva Prapti. He is able to get an understanding that he is the Atma, Amrutatva Prapti. The third one is that he is also, this is primarily focusing at Akartrutva Prapti, that I am not the doer. That understanding will become very, very clear with him. So what, this one, the one that we did now. So yaha pashyati, the one who is seeing prakriti evacha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha. All the thing that is being performed, sarvashaha kriyamanani karmani, all the kinds of karmas that is all being done is done by prakriti eva. Only the prakriti is doing. Yaha pashyati, the one, yaha pashyati, the one who is able to see that all the kinds of acts that is done by the individual is all done by the body mind complex only. It is not that atma. Atma is only a kind of the light that is illuminating it. For example, the sun, if you look at sun, the sun is just coming in the morning. That's it. The sun does not have any kind of plan that I am going to now ensure that if there is going to be some good temperature in some of these places where they are struggling with cold, I want these plants to get photosynthesis. He doesn't have anything. He just comes. That's it. Sun, without any kind of thing, it just comes. It is akartaram. In the presence of sun, what happens? Oshadi vanaspadayaha, all these plants are able to grow. The ice starts melting. The oxygen is getting produced. The entire prakriti comes into life, right? Every action comes into life in the presence of the sun. Okay, presence of the sun. Similarly, prakriti is only doing all the work. The body mind complex is doing the work, and the consciousness, the atma that is there within me, is akartaram. It does not do anything. Okay, so yaha pashyati sarvashaha karmani kriyamanani prakriti eva. The one who is able to see that everything that is being done is only by prakriti, that is body mind complex. Tata, in the same way, or so too, atmanam akartaram sapashyati. He is also able to see that atmanam, the self, is akartaram. It does not do anything. Sapashyati. He is just a witness consciousness. He is a sakshi. So we have to understand it is not kartaram, it is akartaram only. It is not kartaram. If there's a mistake in the book, it has to be corrected. Or if the sentence is fully there without that splitting that we have got, then they would have put makartaram. That has to be understood as tatatmanam akartaram or tatatmanam akartaram. So one has to understand that Atma is a Sakshi Chaitanyam, and the Chaitanyam is only consciousness principle. And the presence of consciousness, the body, mind is able to act. A dead body is there, it cannot do anything because Sukshma Sarira is not there. And then the consciousness cannot reflect to the body, can do nothing. The presence of Sukshma Sarira, which gets illumined, like the objects are getting illumined by the sunlight, the presence of Atma, the presence of consciousness, Sukshma Sariram gets energized, and that makes the body to do the work. So it is just a mere presence is able to make everything do, and the Atma is akartaram. And this person who is able to understand the differentiation between Purusha and Prakriti very, very clearly, he is able to see. See by what? He is not seeing it very clearly that Atma is sleeping. No. Jnana Chakshu, he has got the cognition, that understanding and cognition within his own buddhi. Yes, what is being done is the body-mind complex, and it is nothing to do with the Atma. So, Prakriti eva chakarmani kriyamanani sarvashaha yaha pashyati tata atmanam akartaram sa pashyati saha tata atmanam akartaram pashyati. That is the way he is also able to see. Now, if you Prakriti, if supposing if somebody has not understood and he has not understood Atma, for example, if you look at that way, for many years in our life, we were only Deha Abhimana was there for all of us. We did not even have an understanding of Atma. Atma has already been absolutely in the backdrop of all of us, and we are only thinking about Deha Abhimana and we are doing things. So we did not even bother to know that there is a presence of Atma in all of us. We did not know. We did not know what is the I, what is the thing, what is the Nirvikalpa Nirguna Atma. We did not know. Even now we have yet to have the cognitive understanding. We are just understanding the Shastras. So what happens is that when you are driven by the Prakriti and Guna and Gunas and Guna Guneshu Vartante, we have studied that in the third or fourth chapter also. The Everything has got its own tendencies, and then they go. The nose will go towards smell, the tongue will go towards taste. Guna gunesha vartante. They'll be able to interact with them and start enjoying the entire world. So any kinds of karma that is being produced, the karma is going to result in terms of papa punya, which cannot be escaped, and the papa punya will continue to be experienced by the individual, that's bhokta. Whereas a person, when he is able to understand that the papa punyas are going to be only for the body mind complex, and I am the pure Sachidananda Atma, then all the Sanchita karma or Prarabdha karma or Agami karma does not have any kind of impact on him. So that is one of the meaning that we need to understand. I think in the Shloka number 328, I think, third chapter 28, Tattvavittu Mahabaho Gunakarmani Uba Vibha something Gunakarmani Vibhagayoho Guna Gunesha Vartante iti Matvana Sajjate. That we have discussed this also, that a person who is able to understand himself knows that everything is Guna Gunesha Vartante. I am different. It is all because of those properties they are able to interact with the external world. That is the meaning that we had understood. Okay. So another important thing is that do not use Vedanta for adharmic acts. That is one of the things that I was just studying today. Somebody should not say a criminal. This is beautifully told by Swami Paramarthananda. He said that a criminal was caught and he was in the court, and then they said that you have done all these crimes. Then he said, I didn't do the crime. It is the body mind complex that has done the crime. I am not a person who has done the crime. He took Vedanta's half-baked knowledge and he said, I am not the doer. I didn't do the crime. It is the body mind complex which has done the crime. So I am absolutely not the doer. Then the judge, who was also a Vedantic knowledge person, he also said, yes, I know that you are absolutely free. Your Atma is absolutely free, but I am not going to touch your Atma. It is the body mind only I am going to now imprison. So don't worry about it. I am not touching your Atma. Your Atma is free. Only the body mind I am putting into it. So some people may tend to use this as a wrong way and say that I am not the doer, so why should I do? So all those kinds of wrong conclusions and wrong perceptions they may have. We have to understand that we should not use Vedanta for justifying adharma by half-baked understanding. Very, very important understanding. Okay. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
Yada bhuta prutak bhavam.
यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् यदा भूतपृथग्भावम्
Ekasthamanupashyati.
एकस्थमनुपश्यति एकस्थमनुपश्यति
Yada bhuta prutak bhavam ekasthamanupashyati.
यथा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति.
Will you chant again?
यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति.
There is a slight, I hear it as pratak, it is pru. Yatha bhuta prutak, pru.
यथा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Tata eva cha vistaram.
Tata eva cha vistaram. Tata eva cha vistaram.
Brahma sampatyate tada.
Brahma sampadyate tada. Brahma sampadyate tada.
Tata eva cha vistaram. Brahma sampatyate tada.
Tata eva cha vistaram. Brahma sampadyate. Sorry, sir. Tata eva cha vistaram. Brahma sampadyate tada. Not getting this. Brahma sampadyate tada. Tata eva cha vistaram. Brahma sampadyate tada.
Good. Next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yada bhuta prutak bhavam ekasthamanu pashyati.
यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्तमनुपश्यति यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
Tata eva cha vistaram brahma sampatyate tada.
तत एव च विस्तारम् ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा तत एव च विस्तारम् ब्रह्म विद्यते तदा.
Good. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yada bhuta pruthak bhavam ekasthamanu pashyati tata eva cha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada.
यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्तमनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारम् ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Full shloka.
Yes, sir. यथा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारम् ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा.
Good. One more person.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्तमनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारम् ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा.
Okay. Now, yada bhuta prutak bhavam. Yada means like. Okay. Bhuta prutak bhavam. Prutak means divisive. Okay. Now, if you look at that, we have different type of people. When you look at the people, no, we feel that everybody is different. He is different. John is different. Paul is different. Mahesh is different. We all look at it as prutak bhavam. We look at it as a different entities. Okay. But once they are able to understand ekastam anupashyati, the one is able to understand through the shastra, though they are all looking different, everything that is the one that is making them to be sentient is ekastam. That is only a single thing. Once they are able to understand that, yada bhuta prutak bhavam ekastam anupashyati, the one who is able to see as ekastam, it's a very single entity. Tataeva cha vistaram. Similarly, the origin of everything is also same from Brahma. One is that everybody looks individually different, but ekastam, all of them are same. The fundamental principle, consciousness, atma in all of them is same. That is the understanding. Similarly, the next understanding is that the one should also understand that everything has got origination from the Brahman. Tataeva cha vistaram. Like that, everything has come from the origin from where? Tataeva cha vistaram Brahma. Then everything has got origin only from Brahma. Brahma is the underlying cause for everything in the universe. Okay. Then what happens to them? Brahma sampatyade tada. Tada means then they will be able to gain Brahman. Okay, that is the understanding of it. This is slightly a kind of a, we can even slightly expand it. We know this example, but still again in the context of understanding this verse, I'll tell you. So we'll take this same example of Akasha. Akasha, initially, first of all, we failed to recognize Akasha, right? We do not, in the room there is space. Initially, we are not, tuned to appreciate the presence of Akasha wherever we have. We just see it as a blank thing, right? The room also, Akasha is there, space is there. But the first thing is that because it's intangible, then it is also invisible, we fail to recognize that. So we do not take Akasha as a thing that we know. Or we just take it for granted, we fail to recognize Akasha. That is the first thing. Then We also take the space as emptiness, but actually speaking, it is not emptiness. Everything is there in Akasha. Then how do we just understand this Akasha principle? First thing is that we have to understand that this is a hall. In this hall, what has been enclosed is space. Okay. Well, the thing is that we first of all see the hall only with mud and bricks. So we have to see the wall as mud and bricks, and we feel that this is the room. But we also now have to understand it is not mud and bricks of wall, but it has also got space inside this. First recognition that there's Akasha inside this particular thing. Then second thing is that the space is not only inside this room. I have space in this room, I have space in that room, I have space in that room, I have space in that room. The second thing I have to understand is that this Akasha or space that I have, it is not only in this room. Whichever room I have, whether it's big or small or whatever it may be, I have got Akasha. So every room I go, it's Akasha is there. That is the second level of understanding. So first level is anything beyond mud and bricks, I see Akasha in this room. Second thing is that wherever I go, the big or small, I am able to see Akasha. Then we have to understand that though the spaces are varied in nature, one is big, one is small, one is tall, all those things, still what happens is that the Akasha is the same. That is the next level of understanding. But irrespective of whatever may be the size and structure and the shape of the room, the Akasha is the same. That is the next understanding. That is within the room. Next understanding is that the Akasha that is inside the room and outside the room is the same Akasha. It is not only inside this room, but the Akasha is also outside the room. So that is the next understanding that one needs to understand. Okay, then the next level of understanding is that we have to know that the room is not, the space is not in Akasha, but the space is not in Akasha. Space is not in the hall, but hall is in space. That is the next understanding one has to have. The hall is, Akasha is not in the room, but the entire thing is in the Akasha. So everything that is there in the entire universe is going to be supported only by Akasha. So that is the kind of understanding that we need to have in terms of Akasha. Similarly, you have to now start looking at it from the perspective of putting consciousness in place of Akasha. And then try to understand that our consciousness is there in the body. The consciousness is there in the body of a human being or a huge African elephant, the biggest animals, or a small ant or a small kida, small worm. That is there. The consciousness is there. The same consciousness is there in every one of them. That's the next understanding. So consciousness pervades. That's the next understanding you have to have. Consciousness is not within them. They're all supported by the consciousness. So using this Akasha principle, you may have to understand the consciousness principle. Okay. Then that is the way one should understand. Those things are all pritak, they're all divisive. So you have to have this kind of understanding. But at the same time, one thing that we may have to be very, very conscious about is that Akasha is Jada, whereas Atma is consciousness, is Chetana. Akasha is Achetana. So you can use it for the sake of understanding the principle of consciousness, because we need to have something with which we'll be able to understand Akasha, so consciousness. But after understanding all these kinds of properties of Akasha, we have to understand that Akasha is Jada, whereas Atma is Chaitanyam. So that is what one has to understand. So a person who is able to understand Ekastam, Pratak, everything is divisible, but it is the same thing that is there. Ekastam, Anupastitam, Anupashyati. Then he will be able to understand that underlying principle of everything is Brahma. And when they understand that underlying principle of everything, the consciousness is the underlying principle of everything, like space is the underlying principle of everything. Once that understanding is there, then the person will be able to gain Brahman. Tata eva cha vistaram, tada Brahma sampatyate. He'll be able to achieve or gain Brahman. That is the other kind of a palam. Palam means that understanding this kind of what is that? Prakriti and Purusha, they will be able to also gain the Brahman, that they are the Atman. That is the understanding of this sloka. Yada bhuta pratak bhavam ekastham anupashyati तत एव च विस्तारं ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तथा. Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
Yes, sir.
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात्
Anaditva nirgunatvat.
निर्गुणत्वात्
Pardon me, sir.
निर्गुण not guna. अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात्
Anaditva nirgunatvat. Anaditva nirgunatvat.
परमात्मायमव्ययः
Paramatmayamavyayah. Paramatmayamavyayah.
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः
Anaditva nirgunatvat. Paramatmayamavyayah. Anaditva nirgunatvat. Paramatmayamavyayah.
Good. Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय
शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय
न करोति न लिप्यते
न करोति न लिप्यते न करोति न लिप्यते शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते.
Once
Is
again.
it correct?
Yeah.
शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते.
Next.
Veena Fanishri Bhagini.
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते.
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते.
Good. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Two Shloka.
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते.
Good. Next.
Vijayalakshmi Bhagini. Vijayalakshmi Bhagini.
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते.
Okay, this is a very straightforward, simple verse. I am Paramatma. This Paramatma, which is again Atma. I am Atma. This Atma, or I am Atma, or I am Paramatma. This Paramatma, or this Atma, or this consciousness principle, or this Brahman that we are talking about, is what Anaditvat is beginningless. Nirgunatvat, it is having no gunas, no attributes. So it is neither building, it is not having any beginning, not having any kind of attributes, and avyayaha. I am Atma, avyayaha. Avyayaha means unmanifest. Sharirastha api. Shariraha staha. Even though it is seen to be an indweller in the body, Shariraha sta. Sta means inside, is available inside. Shariraha sta api. Though it is a indwelling in the body, Kaunteya Arjuna, this Atma na karoti na lipyate. It is neither doing anything nor anything is going to have any kind of affliction to it. Okay, na karoti na lipyate. For example, now Space. Space is everywhere. The space is also inside my body. Now, just because it is inside my body, does the space become dirty? It doesn't become dirty. Sun is shining. Okay. The sunshine, just because it is passing through a kind of a gutter, does the sun's light, which is pervading through, does it get polluted? No, sun's light does not get polluted. Space doesn't get polluted. Atmosphere is different, space is different. So it is not going to have any kind of, just because it is going to be in touch with something, in no way it is going to be impacted. It is not going to get any kind of polluted. It is not going to get any kind of stain on that because it is going to be in touch with something. Similarly, the Atma, which is Anadi, Nirguna, it is Anadi, Nirgunam, Avjayam. Despite it is going to be a part of the Shariram, that is the way we say, within the wall you have got a space, in the Shariram also this Atma is there. This Atma, though it may be a part of the Shariram, which is only illuminating the Shariram for sentiency in this body, na karoti, na lipyate. It doesn't do anything. Akartaram, we saw it in the previous Shloka. Akartaram are not going to have anything that is going to impact it. Na lipyate. So anaditvat, nirgunatvat, paramatma ayam avyayah. Paramatma ayam avyayah. Ayam paramatma avyayah. Ayam means this in Sanskritam. Paramatma ayam avyayah. Sharirastah api kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. It does not get afflicted with being presence in the body. In no way it is going to have any kind of affliction. Na karoti na lipyate. Okay, maybe I'll quickly take this shloka. Yata sarvagatam saukshmyad.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yes, ma'am. Yada yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat. Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat.
Akasham nopalipyate.
Akasham nopalipyate. Akasham nopalipyate.
Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyad. Akasham nopalipyate.
Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat. Akasham nopalipyate. Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat. Akasham nopalipyate.
Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Sarvatravasthito dehe.
सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे
तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
तथात्मानोपलिप्यते तथात्मानोपलिप्यते
सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
Next.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्याद् आकाशं नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशन्नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशन्नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
Good. Next, one more person.
Veena Fanishri Bhagini.
line, sir.
A full shloka.
Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat akashanopalipyate sarvatravasthito dehe tathatmanopalipyate.
One more person before we close.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशन्नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
Sorry, again a simple meaning because we have done a lot of talking about the subject. Sarvagatam Akasham. The Akasham, the space, is Sarvagatam, pervasive everywhere. Okay. Why is it pervasive? Saukshmya. It is Sukshma. It is subtle. As a space is subtle, it is pervading everywhere. Yata, like the way. Akasham na upalipyate. It does not get afflicted. Just because it is in touch with something, it does not gain that particular characteristic. It is just absolutely like water and oil. It does not have any kind of a, impact because of that. So everywhere this Akasha is pervasive, but in no way it has got afflicted with wherever it is present. Just because it is going to be in this room, it is not going to get any way impacted or polluted with this particular room. Okay. Similarly, Tata Sarvatra Vastito Dehe, in all the states, the sleeping state, waking state, dream state, all the states, Atma is a part of this particular body. Okay, it is there residing in the body, but that is also in no way going to get impacted or afflicted. Okay, like the way space does not get afflicted with anything that is going to be touching with. Similarly, Atma, which is also present as a part of the consciousness within this particular system, does not in any way get afflicted. That's what we need to understand. So there is a lot of kind of similarity that is being talked between space and Atma. If you look at that way, space and Atma, they have got some few common similarities. First thing is Ekatvam. There's only one space. There's no Bombay space, Pune space, Bangalore space, Hyderabad space. Space is space. I cannot take space now in Bangalore. I cannot take it and then take it in flight and take it to Pune. We can't take it. Ekatvam. Space is Ekatvam. When I'm talking about space, you also think about Atma at the background. Okay. Space is Ekatvam. Next is space is Sarva Vyapakatvam. It is pervasive everywhere. Think that Atma is also like the Sarva Vyapakatvam. Third is space is Achalatvam. It does not move. Right? Space does not move. I cannot take from Bombay to Pune, Pune to Bangalore, Bangalore to Hyderabad. Not possible. Space is Achalatvam. Atma is Achalatvam. Space is Nirvikaratvam. It does not change. If you look at that way, when time immemorial, the space is space. When I was born, it was the same space. When now I am seeing the same space, I am sure future also will be the same space. Nirvikaram does not have any change. It is eternal. Atma is eternal. And then space is Akhandatvam. Akhandatvam, it is not in part. Akhanda Bharat, we say, no, everything was a part of Bharat. Then became Afghanistan, then became Pakistan, East Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and India, like that. No. Akhandatvam means it is all, there's no partition, there's no parts. Akhandatvam. So space is, Khanda means part. Akhandatvam. Atma is Akhandatvam. Asangaha. It is absolutely not going to get polluted. That's what we have been talking in these two slokas. Asangaha. Then, most important thing is Sarva Adharatvam. Everything is supported in space. Atma supports everything in us. Atma supports, and when we understand that Atma is the Brahman, not only supports his body, Atma is the one which supports the entire universe. Aham Brahmasmi. Brahman is what me and Paramatma and Bhudatma, Paramatma, it's all same. So that is the other thing. And last one is Sukshmatvam. Both of them are subtle, which is not possible to be seen, which is not possible to be carried in a bag. No, Sukshmatvam, not possible to be sensed by any of our senses. Sukshmatvam. But only difference is that Akasha is Jada, whereas Atma is Chaitanyam. So we have to understand this, and then we'll continue tomorrow. Samam Pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram nahi nasyatmanatmanam tato yati parangadim प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारं ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तथा अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशं नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरु